Yo, what's up, record breakers? It's your boy Will, and today we have a tutorial video. For those of you that don't know, I've actually been coaching for about 8 years, which is longer than I've been a photographer, so that's kind of just a fun fact I want to throw out there. Currently with Ree, who is one of my athletes, and we're gonna go over the powerlifting commands for the 3 lifts: the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. Since the Forge Your Story Classic, the new lifter competition, is coming up here pretty soon, we thought it'll be an appropriate video to make to help you guys out. So we're just gonna jump right into it, starting off with the squats. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the squat. Ree is here, ready. I actually didn't prepare for this, so I apologize for that.
I'm always prepared.
But she's always prepared. She actually had her gym bag in the car, so we're good to go. But for the squat, there's really only 2 commands for most federations. I think all federations just 2 commands, and those commands are start and rack. So those are the only 2 commands you need to listen for on the squat. So we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate that. There's no command to unrack the bar. So once you're ready, the bar is loaded, you can go ahead and unrack it when you're ready. You have basically every attempt, you're gonna have a minute, so you wanna keep that in mind. But once you're ready, we'll go ahead and unrack the bar. So once the head judge sees that you have full control of the bar, like there's nothing going on, your feet are grounded, they're gonna go ahead and give you the start command, and that's when you go ahead and start your squat. So start, boom. And then the head judge is gonna make sure that you still have full control of the bar, and then they're gonna give you the rack command. So rack, and those are the 2 commands you're gonna get for the squat. Now, common mistakes with the squat, I have Ree demonstrate here. So the first common mistake is depth. So we're gonna go ahead, and what that means is that the hip needs to be parallel or lower than the knee. So this is basically a perfect squat here. You see that the hip and the knee are pretty much parallel to each other. Now, a bad squat would be if the hip was a little higher. So if we were to end there, that's a high squat. You'll get red lighted for that for sure. So what you want to make sure to practice at home to get ready for the competition is that your hip is parallel or lower than your knee when you squat. So definitely make sure that you're practicing that when you're training. And a good way to review is kind of filming yourself from the side and seeing how low you're going. And if you have any questions about it, you can always hit us up and send us your videos, and we could give you some feedback. The other common mistake is bouncing. So what that is, basically you squat and you do a bounce. So you do a bounce and you come back up, and basically when the bar is going one motion, it can only go one motion. So if it's going down, it needs to go down. If it's coming back up, it needs to come back up. It can't do one of these. You'll get red lighted for that. And then the last one is not as common, but if your feet shift at any point during the squat, then you're gonna get called for that. So like if your heel comes up or something, like you're gonna get called for that. So just make sure your feet are grounded. And that's pretty much it for the squat. Cool, so we're gonna move on to the bench. So we are moving on to the bench. For the bench, this is probably the most technical out of the 3. It has the most commands. So there is 3 commands for the bench press. There is a start command, a press command, and then a rack command. So this is the only lift that has 3. So we'll go ahead and showcase those for you. So for the bench press, once you're ready, you go ahead and unrack, and the head judge is going to make sure that you have full control of the bar and also that your elbows are locked out. So elbows are locked out, everything looks good. they're gonna go ahead and give you the start command. So start, and then you have to pause at the bottom, make sure that you have full control again, and then the head judge is gonna give you the press command. So press, and then again, full control of the bar, everything looks smooth. Then they're gonna go ahead and give you the rack command, and you rack. So we'll do one more rep, Bree, and we'll do it a little faster because that actually took longer than what it would in an actual competition. So we'll go ahead and run through that a little faster, and start, press, rack. So that is the bench press. And basically what you want to make sure you're doing during training is making sure that you're kind of practicing the commands. So make sure you have full control of the bar, make sure your elbows are locked out. Go ahead and start and pause each rep. So if you're doing 3 sets of 3 or whatever your program requires you to do, make sure you're pausing at the bottom. That way you get in the habit of pausing and waiting for the press command and then coming up. And once you get to the top and you're done with your set, make sure to hold it, have full control, and then rack. Common mistakes with the bench is really not listening to the commands or not following the commands. So if your elbows, we'll go ahead and demonstrate that, but if your elbows are not locked out, it's gonna take forever to get the start command, and that's gonna basically fatigue you before you even start pressing. So we'll show you what that looks like. So Ree's elbows are actually kind of locked right now. She's also wearing a windbreaker, so it's hard to see, but let's exaggerate that for a little bit. Nah, it's okay. You just bend the elbows a little more. There you go. So elbows are not bent there. They're gonna wait, or I mean, if they're nice enough, they're gonna tell you to lock out your elbows before giving you the start command. But in most cases, the judges, refs kind of expect you to already know that. So yeah, that's one. The other one is not waiting for the press command. So like, let's say Ree got the start command and just beat the press command. Like, she didn't wait for the head judge to say press, then you're gonna get red lighted for that. And also beating the rack command. And that's really the main mistakes with the bench press. And again, similar to the squat, you can't bounce it. So once they give you the press command, the bar needs to come straight up. It can't go back down. And one important cue I forgot is that once you are given the start command on the bench press, your glutes have to remain on the bench. At no point can your glutes come off the bench, because you will get red lighted for that. So make sure your glutes stay on the bench, and yeah. That's pretty much it for the bench. I mean, it's a little bit more technical for all 3 lifts, but we just want to keep it very simple. This is your first powerlifting meet, so if you could practice one thing, it's going to be pausing the bench press and practicing the commands while you're training. That way it just becomes second nature. So moving on to the deadlift. So we're on to the final lift, and that is the deadlift. I think is Ree's favorite.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. This is probably the easiest of the 3. You have one command, so less things to think about. And that command is the down command. So the judge is not going to tell you when to start. They're just going to tell you when to come back down. So let's say Ree's ready. It's her turn to go. She has a minute on the clock. And she goes ahead and starts her deadlift. Everything looks good. She has full control, and down. That's pretty much it. So it's the easiest of the 3. You just have one command. That's the down command. This one is probably the less problematic for most people. Common mistakes with this one is soft knees and soft hips at the top. So if I can get Ree to get to the side, or kind of like a side angle, just pretend you have the bar and you're coming up and you have soft knees. So as you can see, there's like a bend of the knee here, everything needs to be locked out, knees and hip. So boom, then they're gonna give you the down command and you're good to go. Other thing that will frustrate a referee is dropping the weight. So once they give you the down command, you just want to make sure you control the weight back down. You don't want to just drop it. If you drop it, you're going to get called for it and you're probably going to make someone upset. So just make sure you have full control of the bar when you're coming back down. And that is pretty much it for the deadlift. Oh, there's one more. Is jerking the bar. That's another common mistake. So I guess we could show them what that looks like. So let's say you're fighting for the bar and you're like jerking. So yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. Once the bar is in one motion, it needs to go straight up. It can't come back down. You can't try to like do one of these. And so just make it look smooth and practice that on your deadlift. Make sure you're locking everything out at the top. Make sure if you're going straight up, you're going straight up and you're not, trying to jerk the bar up. And that is pretty much it. Thank you so much, Ree, for demonstrating these for us. And we hope it was helpful. Be sure to like the video, share it if you think it was useful, and subscribe. We'll be having more tutorials like these to help you guys out with the upcoming competition. And I'm hoping to release some tools that'll help you guys out as well here in the near future to better prepare you guys. So thank you so much, Ree, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.